Thank you. Wow, it's great to be here, and I apologize. I hope you don't mind if I use my notes, but I've been so inspired, and I have a very active imagination, so everything I've heard today, I just need to make sure I deliver what I actually meant to deliver, so you'll see me refer to this. So a little bit about me. My name is Kelly Thompson, and I'm a Senior Vice President of Merchandising within Walmart's e-commerce division. And today, I hope to give you my very humble perspective on the evolution of retail, the evolution of shopping, and how in my opinion, it's very much powered by data science. So I have a degree in physiology from UC San Diego, a bachelor's degree, which I'm very proud of, but today it feels just a little bit inadequate. So I love science. I think I share that with many of you. However, the career that really called to me was retailing. It's non-theoretical. It is so harsh. You get daily quantitative feedback in terms of sales and profit. Your results are usually published for everybody in the company to see. Everyone knows who to go to if things aren't going as planned. And I actually love that, right? So it's perfect for someone like me who's very results-oriented and also loves developing people, because you get to work with large groups of people. So merchandising, let me just talk a little bit about that. How many of you guys are shoppers? Yeah, great. So what merchants try to do is we're really agents for the customer, and our job is to select the items, right, that we think you guys are going to, there's some things we know you need, but we really love to show you things that you didn't even know you wanted. We try to buy the right amount of inventory. We try to price them so that they sell and we make some profit. It's fairly simple, but don't confuse that with easy. The algebra of retail is very, very simple, but it is not easy at all. And so I love merchandising for, back in the day, I joined merchandising in 1993. I graduated from UC San Diego in 91 and did a brief stint as a physical therapist. But I loved it because even then, it spoke to me, it was a kind of a blend of art and science. And that's personally where I tend to be the most engaged. And then just, today is another validation of there's so much excitement happening in the world of data and science. So think about what that means looking forward. So that's what I get really jazzed about, right? The combination is more interesting than ever. So green button, this green button. All right, so what you know about Walmart. So Fortune 1, world's largest retailer, world's largest company. We have over 11,000 stores in 27 countries across the world, and every week we have an opportunity to serve 250 million customers. So we're big. And we're big because we actually matter to customers, and that's really important for me and the teams I lead and the teams I serve to keep in mind, because the customer can fire you any given moment, right? So it's a precarious position, so we have 250 million bosses. But we've got scale. And I think one of the interesting ways that we're using scale is in technology. So we're actually building a technology company within, well, a technology startup, if you will, within Walmart. And so we talk about Walmart Labs, right? So we've done 15 acquisitions in the past 3 years. We've got 12 websites across the globe in 11 countries. We have over 3,000 technologists. About 2,200 are right here in Silicon Valley. Many of those we've gone through our acquisitions, and you met Jaya, an esteemed colleague, earlier on today's panel. And we've done over $12 billion in sales. So this is kind of what Walmart's doing, right? Walmart, this big company, some people think of it as you're big, you're slow. But this is one of the ways that we're using scale is in technology. It's also a really unique environment for someone like me. So I have a chance to interact with very skilled technical people, data scientists, engineers, all that kind of stuff. And if you think about it, that's not actually standard for most established retailers, right? It's actually a pretty interesting concept. It's very germane to Silicon Valley, but it's not actually germane to most established retailers. And it turns out to be very cool for someone like me, because it's a lot of fun. So let me bring the Walmart Labs vision to life by talking about our customer. So our customers turn to us mainly for two things. Convenience, right? They want to shop when they want to shop. They're omni-channel, right? They're shopping on their phones, they're shopping in stores, they're shopping online. Just to get a single shopping job done, they'll use all three channels, actually, which is pretty interesting. But from their perspective, just have what I want, where I want it, when I want it. Sounds really simple. It actually turns out to be a little bit more complex. They're also value-seeking. So they're price-conscious, but please know that that goes across a broad range of income demographics. These are people who just don't want to get chumped when they're shopping, right? If you want to feel like you paid too much, Walmart's not the place for you to shop. So value seekers cover a broad range of income levels. And what that is, it's a huge data opportunity. And so what we get really excited about is bringing together stores, mobile, and e-commerce together to solve problems and serve customers in new ways. So we kind of talk about this IT to engineering culture. Maybe this language is a little bit amusing to a crowd as sophisticated as this, but merchants are agents for the customers, right? So their problems become our problems. If my customer has a problem, I have a problem. And what we're doing now is really realizing that data and technology can play a huge role in solving the customer problems. And it really required a shift. Now remember, Walmart is a company. It's a founder-led company, but it's been around for 53 years now, right? So we've had a lot of shifts that we've had to make. So from an IT culture to an engineering culture. And for me personally, it actually required a shift. So if you read my bio, you understand that I spent 10 years at Gap in specialty retail. My job was to be like, this is so cute. This is cuter than last year. I had 4 amazing years in Baby Gap. Funnest job ever. And so when I came to Walmart, it was my first stint in e-commerce. And I really didn't understand why I would ever have to go to a meeting with engineers. I'm a merchant. What? So I had kind of technology as this distant vertical. And just really quickly, I learned through some painful mistakes and just the power of observation how technology is really this tightly integrated horizontal. And now I'm the person saying, whoa, we can't actually even get this meeting started because we don't have anyone with data science or engineering backgrounds in the room. We're sitting here talking to ourselves. The problem is not going to get solved in the best way. So that was a huge shift. Personally. And what that means is that the business and the technology teams, we've actually crossed the great divide, and we're learning how to solve problems together. That actually can be a little bit harder than you might think. I've had a couple of moments today where I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've had a lot of moments where I do, but when the business and technology teams get together, we have to arrive at this common language. I have to speak in a way that they can actually translate what I'm trying to accomplish into a mathematical equation, right? That was not intuitive when we first got started on some of the work that I'll talk to you about. And likewise, you know, on the technology side, they're really hungry to understand the business context and the business acumen and why do we think this way and why do we do this. So I'm pretty excited about what we've done in terms of partnering on business and technology. So the case example that I'll give you is, you know, we've built a couple of data products on smart pricing. So Walmart, the reason why we exist is we save our customers money so that they can live better. It's a pretty simple and clear purpose. So keeping our prices low, meeting and beating the prices that you see at our competitors is important every single day at Walmart. And this really came through on July 15th with what we called our Dare to Compare campaign. We highlighted how low our prices are year-round with no annual admission fee. And this whole Dare to Compare campaign was actually made possible by algorithms and a pricing tool that we actually developed in-house. The business team working directly with technologists. Very little intermediaries, right? Directly connecting. So remember I told you a merchant's job is to make sure items are priced, to sell and make a profit. Everybody can lower prices, but there's actually a business model at play here. And so you need to strike both customer and business objectives. And Walmart has earned the customer's trust with our commitment to low prices, right? That's what people think about when they think about Walmart. So it's important every day that we live up to that brand promise, otherwise we lose that trust. But in the digital age, the ability to track prices became overwhelming. So a single merchant, a single buyer may be responsible for over 200,000 items. Right? So think about that when you're in e-commerce. There's no way a human being can keep track of 200,000 prices across all of the different competitors on the web, right? That's not a problem for a human to solve, but it was our problem. And so that's where we kind of got smart and worked with our technology partners and said, hey, could you guys help us here? We're kind of struggling. So we worked to build 2 proprietary data products. The first one tracks millions of prices across a really broad range of competitors, and it has a 95% freshness rate. And it's got really nice data visualization techniques so the merchants can go in really quickly and see the key metrics that we're holding them accountable to, where they're at, which problems they have if they want to improve the metrics, all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of helps us know. But once you know about a problem, if you're having problems, you actually need something to help you do, right? So the second part of these, the second product that we built is a set of algorithms and a user interface that allows merchants to actually interact with the algorithms, set goals, and do algorithmic pricing so that we actually hit the goals that we're trying to meet. So I think that's actually really important. A couple of things that I heard come through today are this blend of art and science. We don't do things just solely like algorithms by themselves. What makes it proprietary and what makes it interesting and fun is the interaction actually between the science and the merchant. The merchants, right? When I was at Gap, I was selected to work on this little project, and none of the other merchants even knew what an algorithm was. And I'm like, well, it's just something that uses the past to kind of predict the future, and it's all about like kind of what you take in, and it'll determine the quality of the output. And so so merchants aren't really they don't really realize that they need this help. But the interaction between the two was really fascinating because merchants are kind of running their own algorithms, and I'm kind of like, okay, guys, that's great, but I think there's some people with better algorithms, and why don't we actually team up and get the algorithms out of our head and get them into something that we can actually scale. So we measure price competitiveness in absolute, but we also weight it by what our customers are interacting with the most. And then the tools actually help the merchants achieve their goals. The one thing I'll say to a group as creative and intelligent as this is that tools are useless unless people use them. And so this change adoption is actually a very important element of getting the work that you guys are building and creating out into the marketplace so that it can impact people. So I don't want to lose that. And so one of the things that I would encourage you guys to be really aware of as you navigate your careers and whatnot is understand how the work that you do drives the business model, drives the P&L, and can actually help people achieve their goals. That was key. And I'm proud to say that we've gotten to 100% adoption of the tool. Remember, merchants did not ask for this tool. They didn't actually really want help with pricing. They thought they had it. And I'm proud to say that for 3 years running now, we've made really significant improvements in both the customer metric, which is price leadership, as well as the business metrics, which have to do with profit. And the exciting thing is now we have these platforms for learning. We continue to evolve our pricing capabilities, right? There's no done here, and we have a dedicated team of technologists who now have a really strong business acumen around pricing, and they work directly with the merchants, and all kinds of problems that come up in the business, we're actually partnering together to solve them. So smart pricing has become a platform for delivering results and developing people. So I think just talk about the evolution, right, and that it's powered. In my opinion, it's powered largely by data science. My job as a leader is about delivering results and developing people. I think that's actually broadly applicable, broader than just merchandising. But at the higher levels of leadership, my job is to think about where results and people need to go, right? So not where we're at, but where we need to go. And it was through the collaborations with the technical teams that I really realized that we had some pretty big shortcomings, and it inspired a pretty big transformation exercise and development exercise for my team, but it would require a pretty big cultural shift. We're focused on the customer, but traditional approaches were not helping us keep up with what turned out to be a rapidly evolving retail environment and a customer environment. And I had a moment where I just woke up, right? I've been a merchant since 1997 in Mickey Drexler's training program, right? And I woke up just going, oh my gosh, we're not good enough. The world is changing. We need to run a little bit faster, a little bit harder to keep pace. And it's about partnering more effectively with technology and bringing more science to the art. So if you think about where the customer is, right, and all of a sudden I just sat up here and I felt like, God, I feel really old because I've been, doing this trade for a while, and maybe many of you in the audience, like this is the way things have always been. But merchandising and the customer has changed pretty radically, and so approaching problems the same old way, it doesn't really get us to where we need to be. So they have all kinds of ways to access products, to engage with content. They have a bunch of choices, right? They can choose from so many different products. Pricing is totally transparent. They expect it to be easy, make it relevant to me, let me shop on my terms when and where I want. So that notion of any device. And the merchant role requires an obsession for the customer. Retail innovation, collaboration, strategic thinking, and agility, these are all kind of like the merchant mindset that we bring to life today. But where we really focused in on the change was being technology-enabled and data-driven. So I asked my team, I told them, I said, look, you guys, we sit in this building with the Walmart Labs organization. It is now your job. You have to change your role and expand your mindset. You have to understand and utilize the technology available that's emerging to scale your abilities as a merchant, which is largely to drive sales and profit. And then being data-driven. Most merchants make decisions off of historical sales data, which is very weak when you consider how many different signals customers are sending off. So I asked them, we have to get better at quickly synthesizing data from multiple sources to inform our decisions. And really, if you think about why that's relevant to this group, is it was the partnership between business and tech that's key to developing those qualities, right? Sitting across from data scientists helps you be more data-driven. It helps you gather the data and be able to digest it quickly. This is just a vision map. And just speaking to the change transformation exercise that we led, but this is kind of like where we're at and where we're going. So just kind of a purview into that. And when I think about what's next, I've never been more excited. We've done great things in pricing. We still have great things to do, but I've never been more excited about all the signals and the way customers are talking to us as merchants, who our job is to listen, and how can we turn that into better, more relevant product assortments, priced more effectively for our customers. So we're working a lot on demand signals, right? What internal and external demand signals can we look at to make sure that we've got the products customers don't even know they want yet? And there's also a lot of interesting work on do we understand how our customers shop across channels, right? On a mobile device, web, e-commerce, and into stores. So that's kind of what we're focused on. It's a really, really exciting time. It's exciting because of you and all the work that you guys do and what you study and what you bring to industry. So that's pretty much it. Thanks again for having me at the conference. I don't normally come to conferences like this. I've learned a ton. And there's always an invitation for you guys to help us solve meaningful problems at Walmart. We're very proud of the customers that we serve. So thank you so much for your time today. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Kelly.